What is it that NBA 2K25 has to do to bring back the player base that it once had? You probably can make the argument that the game is bigger than it's ever been, but the truth is, I don't believe that's the case. You see, nobody really gets on NBA 2K25 and plays it for the whole year. There's a very select few people, probably streamers, YouTubers, content creators, that actually do that. Most of the player base is done playing it within the first 3 months. I would personally make the argument that most of the player base is done within the first few weeks. Obviously, 2K wants to maximize revenue, so they have VC prices the same the whole year. The game goes on sale a few times, but man, the gameplay is just not there. You cannot play this game for a whole year. The absolute number one thing 2K has to change is the VC pricing. Now, I get it. 2K is going to, hear that, and they're going to say, well, people buy it anyways. But sometimes you got to be a good Samaritan and actually let the people play the game and, actually have a lot of builds, because there's a lot of people that cannot afford to have multiple builds because it costs like $66 per build, if not more, if you really get to 99 overall, which is absolutely ridiculous. And not to mention the fact that you can literally buy a t-shirt in real life for cheaper than you can in 2K. For example, at the place I work, we sell t-shirts for $5. $5, right? If you can spend $5 on a t-shirt in real life, why in 2K do you have to spend $15 to get a basic shirt? It doesn't make any sense. It would be a very compelling argument that people that see prices that are cheaper are going to spend more money in the long run. I don't know if that's a true statistic, but based on what I think in my head, it makes sense. If something you buy every day is $6 versus something you buy that's $20, I would feel as though you'd be much more prone to buy that thing more often than, making the judgment of being like, should I spend $20 today? Obviously, in 2K's world, it's way more expensive than $20. Oftentimes, like I said, builds can be over $66 Canadian. That's just absolutely redundant and crazy and stupid, and I don't like it, so please change it. That's going to be my rant for the VC pricing. I'm sure there's a lot more I can get into, but that's simply what I think. Something else that would be really cool is if they added a recycle build option. Now, I've talked to a few people about this, and I think they agree with me. Most of them do, at least. Imagine you create a build. Obviously everyone's day one build is going to be a little bit worse than it should be. If you could then recycle that build for 50% of the VC back in your account, they can then spend on a new build, or if there was some kind of respec option for your build so that you can, micro adjust the actual attributes, because so many people make builds in the first week from, YouTubers. They got their build videos, and then they just suck. The players are useless. By the second week of the game, everyone's got better builds, and I think most of the player base likes to maximize, so I think that would be great. And it would keep the currency in the game. You wouldn't really have to worry about the money being spent elsewhere. It would stay in VC terms. 120 FPS. That is something that should be in the game on next-gen consoles without a doubt. Whether or not you can actually hold 120 FPS or not, that's a different situation. But at least have the cap be 120. The game feels so much better. If you go into like the art of shooting drill in NBA 2K24, that's 120 FPS based on like what I'm understanding. And it just feels way better. Number 4 is really simple. Why is the game 150 plus gigabytes? That doesn't make any sense. Look at a game like Fortnite. It's less than 30 gigabytes. Why is NBA 2K 150 gigabytes? Can we please look at optimizing that? If you have an Xbox Series S, you're going to be taking up half of the Xbox storage with one single game. Something else that's really important for number 5 is, can we please have all of the animations available at the game's release? Why are we waiting months and months and months, like literally 9 months or longer, to get some of the animations in the game? There will be players in the player base that never get to see certain animations by the time they're playing 2K. That's silly. I think that needs to change. Just give them all to us, and maybe add like new animations that aren't disclosed per season or something like that. You obviously need a fluctuating dunk meter. I think it's kind of stupid that if you drive in the paint and you dunk on somebody, but as long as it's clear when you take the dunk with the meter, it's a massive meter. It should be small, or it should change based on the contest rating. So if you're really dunking on somebody, you shouldn't have a massive green window. Let's get back to the legend grind as well. I think it's kind of silly that we're not doing that. I don't mind the top 10 idea. It's okay, but I think in practical use, a lot of the player base is not going to be, grinding for top 10. Nobody really has time for that. So at least make legend available, rather than having to try and get to the top 10. Next up, remove the LeBron hopback and the John Wall crossover. Get them out of the game. I don't mind the Jamal Murray behind the back. I'm assuming they're going to recycle animations for next year, just because of the fact that pro play is so huge. They'll probably have new animations as well, but I'm sure they're going to recycle some of them. But get rid of the LeBron hopback and the John Wall crossover. Just get them out of the game. Lastly, let's rehaul the competitive scene. So I think there should be a 3v3 mode and a 5v5 mode. that you can play with your friends that actually has like a ranking system. Instead of like the Pro-Am and the Rec Center, I think it needs to be more competitive. That will take the better players out of those areas that more basic players will play in. And then it will also create a more competitive environment for those players that want to, be the best in the game. People always be talking about how important graphics are and this and that. I really don't think graphics are that important. Truth be told, gameplay is king in games. That's the truth. The graphics can be subpar. Look at something like Minecraft, right? The graphics aren't amazing. They're just something that you can play all the time, and they're not bad. They're not amazing. They're not bad. So graphics don't really matter, but gameplay is king. I remember loading up on NBA 2K20 or 2K17, sorry, not 27, 17, and thinking to myself, this game doesn't look fantastic, but the gameplay for me was just so pure. I like the shot meter. I don't use it anymore, but I love the shot meter. I like the way the characters felt. Everything just felt really smooth, and it made it a very enjoyable time to, play that game. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Please share this to your friends, your family, whatever it might be, because I want 2K to be successful, and I think you do too. I don't want everyone to hop on the game the first day after saying they're not going to buy it and then quit playing it, because I genuinely like the game. I think there's a huge possibility for this game to be huge again. And yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Adios.